on your lower back, the outer edges of the feet along the outer edges of the mat. Arms spread with space underneath your armpits. Knees gently knocked together. Feel a sense of evenness under the soles of both feet. Now this pose alone opens up the lower back, and you can feel a spreading of the kidneys. So normally there's a natural curve in the lower spine, in the lumbar spine, but simply bringing the knees together in this way will allow you to experience contact between your lower back and the ground. So taking a deep breath into the lower belly. Nice, slow, gentle exhalation out. Another deep, long breath into the lower belly. And a nice, smooth exhalation out. Keep breathing in this way. So at this point, you're not participating in the activity at all. You're simply facilitating. So you're allowing the breath to enter in and out of the body. And on every exhalation, you release that breath down into the ground. Just feeling a sense of heaviness with the lower back. So I say that often with the lower back, if you've got pain, you don't necessarily need to stretch it. It may be the case you need to relax it, okay? So a combination of both is really good. Any dull pains, achy, whingy lower backs require breath work and grounding. Stay here for a while. As long as you need, you can hit the pause button, not an issue. At this point, you want to commit to being present within yourself with the practice. Acknowledge that whatever is to happen in the future, whatever you have to attend to after this, will happen. Value the time that you're giving yourself. That if you're okay, then everything else and everyone else will be okay. Leave the past in the past. And commit to having a positive dialogue with yourself. Non-judgment. Whatever presents, whatever comes up in your body, even if you're already aware of it, you may be going through something in your body, but the aim is to not tell a story. So simply let it be and observe and sit with it, which can be hard to do, okay? So that's where you mentally want to be in your practice. When you feel ready to come out, you can do so by knocking both sets of knees over to the right, so a sense of dropping, gravity taking its course. And if you're here off the ground, you're here, even if you're further up. Taking a deep breath in and exhale. You want to root the left shoulder into the ground, and you want to start to feel a sense of opening, natural heaviness across the whole side of the left body into the hip. If this is good for you, you can deepen the stretch by placing the right side of your ankle on the outside of your left thigh. And with two opposing forces, you want to push down into the ground with that right foot and away. So down and away. As the left shoulder pushes into the ground, Looking over to the left and take some nice long breaths. Gently releasing the leg back to where it was, so back to the outer edge, and knocking the knees over towards the left. Repeat the version that you did before, just pushing the right shoulder into the ground. If you place the left ankle on the outside of the right thigh, then repeat. You want to push that thigh down and away from you, so you feel that you're pulling like an elastic band in both directions of your body. Very gentle, sweet spinal stretch. And gently release. Hugging both knees in with a gentle rock from side to side. And really give yourself some loving, okay? So from an emotional mental point of view, this is really good for self-comfort. It's like that child, you know, bringing that inner child into your life again. Rocking from side to side. Maybe a little round U shape, semicircle shape. Grab both sets of toes into a happy baby. Now what you want to do is here, you see my hips, I'm going to exaggerate. My hips are up, but you want to push those hips down. The pelvis pulls down. And once again, I have that lower contact with the earth for a minute. Take a deep breath in. Release the contraction of the pelvis and simply push your legs down and your hips down into the ground. Deep breath in. Exhaling out the mouth. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Remember, if you can't grab your toes, that's okay, right? You grab the calves. Relax the shoulders away from the ears. And release. Once again, hugging the thighs towards the chest, rocking from side to side. And release. Creating a gentle bridge pose now. So you want to feel as though your middle finger is touching the heels. Okay, that's your rough distance. You're in line, so your hips and your heels are in line. And your knees are roughly on top of your heels, okay? So from here, placing the hands on the outside of the body, the first thing to do is to pay attention to the hips, rotate the hips towards you. So that's a sense of a cog rotating towards you. So once again, you've got that pressure of the lower back against the ground. There's a slight hug of the abdomen. Take an inhale, and then exhale, pushing those hips up, still with a rotation towards you. I'm engaged here. Chin towards your chest, inhale, and exhale. Nice deep breath in, engaging the quads, engaging the glutes to support you. And exhale. Now release from the upper spine, chin towards your chest. The upper spine rolls down one vertebrae at a time. And the last thing to come down is your pelvis, your tailbone and lower back. Okay. So once again, taking an inhale and exhale, rotating the hips. Another inhale. And exhale, keeping that form, squeezing the bum, and up you come, squeezing between the inner thighs, chin towards your chest. If you feel ready, you can tuck the shoulders under and interlock the fingers. Take an inhale, still rotating the hips towards you. Exhale, launching further up. Chest begins to open. Shining the chest past your head. Pushing into the inner edges of the feet and the outer edges. Squeeze between the inner thighs. And exhale, release the hands. Unravel, opening up the shoulders. One vertebrae at a time. Interlocking the fingers around the shins or just holding the knees. Rocking from side to side. And if it's available to you, back and forth. Otherwise, just use your hands to support you for a little rock. That's okay. And slowly bring yourself into a seated position. Now turning over. Swinging over with your wrists directly underneath your shoulders. So we're going to line up. Wrists directly underneath the shoulders. Knees directly underneath the hips. Okay? Now be mindful that the alignment is correct. Okay? So you're in a tabletop position. So once again, wrists underneath the shoulders. Knees underneath the hips. So we're going to go into cat pose. Before doing so, I want you to feel what it's like to be grounded. So lift up, left hand, spread the fingers wide, and you want to roll through the palm of the hand, all the way through to the knuckles and into the fingertips. So you can see the white in your fingertips, and you feel like you've got a pad here. So think about the lotus pads, right? Use your hands as lotus pads. They're like plungers. Okay? And pick up the right hand with the same on the base of the wrist, of the palm, and spreading through the palm, rolling through into the knuckles, into the fingertips. Take an inhale to prepare, and exhale, chin towards your chest, the hips come forward, the navel draws back towards the spine. Opening up the shoulder blades, and you inhale, coming through, opening up the collarbones and rotating the hips up, spreading open the seated bones. And exhale, pushing through the hands, hips come forward, navel draws back, chin towards the chest, neck nice and long. Keep the arms nice and straight. Very gentle bend in the elbow if required. And inhale, the hips come up first and roll through the spine, and then the head comes up. And I open up my chest, take a deep breath in. And as I push through my hands, I get this sweet rolling through the lower belly, middle, and then the head. The hips rotate outwards first, inhaling, rolling through the spine, and exhaling, my head comes in last as my hips come forward. Repeat as many times as you need. Hit the pause button, but remember to inhale as you come through to look up, and exhale as the hips come forward and you're curving that beautiful spine. When finished, you feel you've done enough, you release back, opening up the knees, toes together, into an active child pose, which means the elbows are off the ground, the fingers are nice and spread, okay? And you have a curve in your arms, so you can open up your chest and activate your biceps to push your hips into your heels. If required, you use a cushion. So put a cushion underneath. If your hamstring is very tight and it's uncomfortable, place some cushions here. As many as you need. You might need 2, you might need 3. That's okay. If you're still finding it difficult and your head can't reach the ground, you can also put a pillow here. So you'll be a bit like this. The aim is to use your biceps, launch your spine, lengthening away from you, and open up the shoulders. So you're rounding out the shoulders. Take a deep breath in and exhale. Nice spreading of the lower back. Inhale and exhale. The next exhalation, chin towards your chest. Very gently coming up. Padding your hands forward now, tucking your toes under into a very gentle downward dog. Okay. Here you want to ensure that your heels are hip width apart. Okay. And your hands are a good distance away, just diagonally 45 degrees.
Begin padding through each foot one at a time, just easing your way into the pose, feeling your way around your hamstrings. And then you want to gradually start coming into a static position. If you need to take a break and come out of this position, just come down onto your knees and come back into a child pose before going back up again. When in your static position, ensuring that your middle toe is tracking in line with your heel and your middle finger is tracking forward. If you soften your knees onto your tiptoes, raise your heels high off the ground, lifting your hips and seated bones up to the sky, and then pushing those heels back into the ground. This allows you to really fully elevate those seated bones up into the sky. Roll the shoulders away from you, so externally rotating away to spread the shoulder blades and push away from the hands. This will allow you to get a deeper stretch through the hamstrings. If your chest is poking out, soften and melt the chest into the back, lengthen the size of the waist and root the heels. The important thing is to keep breathing and come out of the pose, especially when you're doing this for the first time. It can be quite heavy on the hands and interesting to be elevated for that longer period of time. So just take it easy. This is quite an inversion. So it's that introduction to feeling an exchange of blood flow going through into your mind. It relieves any pressure on the pelvis. So this is really good for digestive issues or bowel issues, and also for kidneys. So even if you've got trapped wind in that area, or flatulence, so it's a really go-to pose amongst the child pose and the cat poses that we did. So these are really simple core poses to play around with and transition through from child pose into cat pose into downward dog. Just doing this alone will bring huge amounts of benefits. So after giving downward dog a go, you want to slowly and gently come back down onto your knees and into a child pose. This time a resting child pose, so bringing the arms down by the side of the body so that your hands are by your feet, palms turned up towards the ceiling, shoulders rolled out, curled out away from you, and the forehead once again grounded and rooted into the earth. Completely unlock the temples around the mind, soften the lower jaw, And take a deep breath into the body and a nice long deep exhalation out. Just allowing the whole of the spine and gravity to do the work. Stay there as long as you need. And very, very gently uncurl the spine back into a seated position on your mat. I recommend that you take time to just close your eyes for a couple of seconds, keep them closed, and then very gently opening the eyes, keeping the gaze low, and to continue the rest of your day.